They mocked humanity for being weak. Until the day we saved them for thousands of years. The galaxy believed it understood humanity. To the great alien empires, humans were strange creatures, too emotional, too compassionate, too soft. While other civilizations measured strength through warships and weapons, humans spent their time creating art, writing music, building families, helping strangers. Many species laughed at them. Some even called humanity the kind fools of the galaxy, and for a long time, humans ignored the insults because they had nothing to prove. But then, everything changed. It began on a distant world called Arkan Prime, a beautiful planet covered by vast oceans and floating cities, home to one of the most powerful civilizations in existence, the Arconians. For centuries, they had looked down on humanity. Whenever humans offered friendship, the Arconians responded with arrogance. Whenever humans offered cooperation, the Arconians responded with pride. To them, humans were weak, nothing more. Then one terrible day, a giant rogue moon entered Arkan Prime's solar system. At first, scientists thought it would pass harmlessly. They were wrong. The moon's gravity began tearing the planet apart. Oceans rose, cities collapsed, earthquakes shook entire continents. Within days, billions of lives were in danger. Panic spread across the planet. The Arconians sent emergency messages across the galaxy. They begged for help. They offered technology, resources, wealth, anything. But the response was not what they expected. Many civilizations refused. Some feared the danger. Others simply didn't want to risk their fleets. One by one, the galaxy turned away. The same thing the Arconians had done to others for centuries was now happening to them. And then, one final message arrived. It came from Earth. The human response contained only 6 words. "We're coming. Hold on. Nothing else. No negotiations. No demands. No conditions. Just 6 words. We're coming. Hold on." The Arconian leaders were shocked. Why would humans help? After everything, after years of insults and disrespect, it made no sense. But humans weren't asking questions. They were already moving. Across Earth. Emergency fleets launched. Civilian ships joined military convoys. Doctors volunteered. Engineers volunteered. Rescue workers volunteered. Millions of people signed up within hours. Nobody was forced. Nobody was ordered. They simply chose to help, because that is what humans do. Weeks later, the first human ships arrived. What they saw was heartbreaking. Entire cities were underwater. Families were trapped beneath collapsed structures. Children were stranded on floating debris. And everywhere, people were terrified. The humans immediately began rescue operations. They worked day and night, without rest. Without complaint, human pilots flew through deadly storms to reach survivors. Human engineers built emergency shelters. Human doctors treated thousands of injured civilians. Some humans died during the rescue efforts, but the missions never stopped. One day, a human rescue team received a distress signal from a collapsing city. The building was falling apart. Most experts said it was impossible. Nobody could survive inside. But a young human firefighter named Marcus volunteered anyway. Without hesitation, he entered the building, floor after floor, room after room, searching for survivors. Finally, he found a little Arconian girl trapped beneath debris. She was terrified, crying, certain she would die. When she saw Marcus, she whispered, "Why are you helping me?" Marcus smiled, even as the building shook around them, and he answered, "Because you need help." The little girl stared at him, confused. Humans weren't supposed to be like this. At least, that's what she had been taught. Moments later, the building began collapsing. Marcus lifted the debris, shielded the child with his own body, and pushed her towards safety. The rescue team managed to save the girl, but Marcus never came out. The entire planet heard the story. For the first time, the Arconians saw humanity clearly, not as soldiers, not as rivals, not as weak creatures, but as people willing to sacrifice themselves for complete strangers. Months later, the crisis finally ended. The rogue moon was diverted. The planet was saved. Billions survived. A massive ceremony was held to honor those who had fallen. Representatives from across the galaxy attended. At the center of the memorial stood a statue, not of a king, not of a general, not of a warrior, but of a human firefighter holding a frightened child. Below the statue were words that would become famous throughout the galaxy. Strength is not measured by the lives you can take. It is measured by the lives you are willing to save. From that day forward, nobody called humans weak again, because the galaxy had learned something important. The strongest species wasn't the one with the biggest fleet, or the most powerful weapons. The strongest species was the one willing to risk everything for someone they had never met, and that was humanity. The end. Never met, and that was humanity. The end.